And Shalom, 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 Israel. Yahweh Shemi Al-Shabarakatah. Shalom. Hope y'all having a blessed day, another great day. Look, it's Thursday night thunder. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. We might have a little bit of a situation tonight. You know, it might get a little heated tonight, but we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do what we normally do. Before I do get into all that, all praises to the Most High. Listen, please, first and foremost, tune into our classes on Monday. We got Milk Mondays with Adam and Eliel. Okay. We've got True Tuesdays with Adam and Maya, Yakunya, and Yardan. There's a lot of captains on that show. I'm still boycotting that show because they got too many captains. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Anyway, y'all slow down. You have us tonight with Thursday Night Thunder, and then you have our Friday night class. Listen, our Shabbat class, that Friday night class, that is the class to be on. That's what you need to be dealing with. That's where you need to be. Yeah, we do a lot on here on Thursday. We do a lot on Mondays, and we do a lot on Tuesdays. But you need to be tuning into that Friday night class. Now, with that being said, I ain't gonna take nothing away from what the young brother got tonight, though. We got the as always, I'm Benaiah. I'm Captain Benaiah. You brothers can introduce yourselves.
Soldier Barnabas.
Soldier Abaya.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay.
His internet a bit frozen.
Yeah, he froze a bit. That is Soldier Kahari. He is the one that will be bringing y'all the lesson tonight. Now, tonight's lesson is entitled "On the Day of Your Temptation." Hey, listen, what you gonna do on that day? Where you gonna be at? You know what I'm saying? What decision you gonna make on that day? Because I just want to know. Who gonna be who got the heart to deal with what's about to come. Jacob's trouble ain't gonna be nothing to play with, man. Who got that heart? What you gonna do? Where you gonna run to? Who you gonna turn to? Where your friends gonna be? What is it that you're gonna look forward to doing in that time? I would like to ask those questions. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that I would ask brothers and not just the truth, and not just our camp, but in the truth. Like, what would you do in Jacob's trouble? What would you do in that time of your temptation? What decision? What would be your breaking point? You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect Adam on y'all all when he says, you know, you send him bugs and pestilence. Yeah, he might not make it. He can't do a bunch of bugs all over the place and crawling on him. I respect he knows what he's dealing with, man. He knows what he's dealing with. Me personally, you send darkness for too long, hey man, I might snap. I might lose it, bro. I didn't even like. I don't like it, man. I can't deal with being in the dark like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta have a light. I gotta have a TV or something, man. I can't be in the dark like that. I don't like it. And that's speaking personally. But what would you deal with? Now, with that being said, I also gotta say this: if you guys want to actually join us for Feast of Tabernacles, you need to send us an email. You need to send us an email pronto, like yesterday, not now. Yesterday, you late already. We need that info so we can get y'all set and get y'all in so we can make sure we keep account of how much space we're going to have. With that being said, Barnabas, you want to go ahead and throw your piece in?
You know, as we always say every week, get your tools. Get your tools. Have your tools ready. All right. The word for this for Israel is be prepared, man. That's the word, and that's in everything. Be prepared. All right. That's one message I'm not going to leave leave off of. Be prepared. So you should have your this is a Bible school, so you should have your Bibles. You should have your Apocrypha, King James Version Bible, and you also have your highlighter. Take notes. You have your pen and a pad, all right, so you can take notes and follow along with us as the mighty soldier about to bring out a lesson, all right? As we always try to catch your awareness, try to catch your mind and make you think. All right, every week we try to do something to make you think, man. All right. So as we going, we're gonna keep that heat going, man. Let's go.
All right. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna show a video real quick to kind of give y'all a look at what could possibly happen for us. This is real life. This is something that really is happening right now. This ain't, you know what I'm saying, something that, you know, this ain't a movie. This is something that's really happening right now. So I'm gonna play this video real quick and give y'all a look at what we could possibly be dealing with. And you know, if it's happening for this group of people right now, it's going to be 3 times worse, 7 times worse, maybe 12 times worse for us. All right, we're not going to get civil treatment. These people are. Now, the name of this video is Forced Sterilizations and Life in China's Uyghur Muslim Internment Camps. That's right, I said it. Muslim internment camps. Some of y'all didn't even know they existed. Well, we're going to show you. We're going to show you. This is about a 6-minute video, so I will let it play through. Israel, enjoy.
Qanım yo'q ish qilib men 2 kun o'zimni vaqtimda xotirjam yashagandagi saqlanib bilan 3 kun o'g'andim. Bir xil kayfiyatim yaxshi bo'lmaylar. Qanım yerim boshdan aslayman doim. Bosh qoladi, yerim yo'q. O'zim o'ylab turmadim. Ashuncha qanamsiz mushtaq yurishga yo'l qo'ymadi. Shuning uchun men bu sinni olsun namini chiqarib mushtaq zaratan qabul qilmaydi. Shu qaror keldim. Ben şu dastlabda 2017 2 ayning 28 kuni shu bir turkum savodsizlarni yig'ib o'qish savodsizlarga xanzu tilda, ya'ni davlat tilida ishlar dars o'tsa, ishlar davlat o'tsa, lekin bu ishlarni hech kimga demaysan, xizmatdoshlaring, maktab rahbarligi, atrofingdagi yaqin do'stlaring, tuqqanlaring, hatto yo'lishing demaysan, ko'rgan, anglagan, bilgan ish qilsini, shunaqa va'dalarni berib, majbur cho'qinlar bizga shuncha cho'ng besim bilan bir ishlar qizimni tutib aka beralaymiz bu degan shundan qattiq yuqori besimlar bilan meni o'sha darsga ivatdi. Shu darsga ivatgandan boshlab.
Did you understand at the time that you were being asked to work in an internment camp, or did you just think that it would be a normal school or a normal training program? Did you understand what was happening in Xinjiang at the time?
Ya qattiq xabarim yo'q. Men uni bilsam, lekin biz shunchalik va'dalarni yozdirib, qo'l qo'yg'izib, suruqlarni bostirib barmoqimizdan qilib ketganda men hayron qolgandim. Nima uchun savol darslarsa buncha yillar qilib kelganimda o'zim hayron qolgan, lekin u kamplarga berib undan qo'llardirlar dars shunda men uxlab tushundim, xiyondim gaplarni ekanman.
But almost as soon as you arrived, it became clear what it was. Is that correct?
Albatta bilimda, chunki biz yig'inlashganda muhtagan shu binoni oldiga kelib, soqchi tushib mashindan eshiklarni qadagi elektronlik eshiklarni O'sha kirganda anadagi men bu qanday maktab tuzadi, shunchalar qattiq qamal qilgan deb hayron qoldim, lekin yana uning ichida qarsam bu qamalning ichida anadagi derazaning anasini qalay bilan qo'yatlayotganka shuni ko'rib shundan ko'nglim yerim bo'ldi, lekin o'zim yana tutib oldim, tutib sinib kirdim. Ashlab chiqyotdi, ular sinib kirib bordi, qarab shu yerda men ashlab qarab turib o'zim shunchalik shu butun vujudim shu titrab ketdim, o'zimni sal chim tutolmasam o'sha shundan qattiq ko'nglim yerim bo'lib ketdi, lekin yana o'zim kontrol qilib oldim. Shundan lekin assalomu alaykum desam bularimiz boshqacha kusulib ketgan keyin hamma xatoga qildim deb darhol o'zimni o'sha darsni boshlab ketdim.
And while you were working at that camp, you yourself were forced to have an IUD fitted.
Ishlayotgan mazgilimda shu vaqt solgan shu mahallada lekin bizga to'pimizga to'p turish qildi. Lekin aholi kadrlar uyga kirdi, erinmay. Cho'qim uzuk sog'islar, lekin tug'mas bo'g'dirdigan operatsiya qildirsizlar. 18-59 yoshgacha oralig'ida buni qilsanglar olmaydi. Shu jarayonda shu darsda bo'lgan vaqtlarimda men uzuk sog'izgan dastlabda. Uzuk sog'izib 15 kungacha men to'xtamay, yaxshimay og'izatdim. 2018 yilda sog'izib yanashlar qildim. Oxir 2019 yil 5-oyga kelganda rasmiy tug'mas doktorca prosesi.
Forced to be
What was
sterilized.
the experience like when you had the IUD fitted? Were there any Han Chinese women having them fitted? How was the procedure?
Biz barsak u yerga Uyg'urlar butunlay men bir miqdor ko'p bakmadım. Qan Uyg'ur ayol qizlarni ko'rdim. Shunchalik ko'p. Men aytganda 7 adam bekçi baldırak bir yere kadar degan boğaçqa men aytganda 7'den 50 kishi berib bo'pti ekan. Men shayga aytsangiz barsam uchratib bo'pti. Lekin u binoniki teshig'i shunda aniqlar men hozir uncha unutmayman. Unda shu Lonian Go'yu deb yozilib, Xitoy tilida qizil rangda.
And you also believe that the women in this camp were being raped, is that correct?
Haqiqatan aş bosqinchilik qilish pek og'ir avjab ketgan. Chunki ash ishlar avjab ketgan bo'lg'achqa, u yerdagi Xitoy soqchilar so'roq qilish jarayonida 4-5 soqchi birlashib, so'roq qilgan qizlarni bosqinchilik qilgan navbat bo'yicha. Bosqinchilik qilib bo'lgandan keyin yana Dembağ'ın yaptığı. Anadaki 50 yaş, 60 yaş, 70 yaş kızlardı. 50-60 var. Kağanız küçük kızlar başka. Ben ular bir karısı başka yaptığını alsam. Kızım göz alım geldim. Günde keçti öğün alsam. Kolum yarım mutlu. Ağzı kadar olsam da. Gözüm tutamay. Yaşamaydım. Onu alıp yıkım kolum yarım olmadım. Kızlar karab. Çünkü kızlardan çiçi düşürmetken. Qarısılı ben akıda içimden ben şu bir aşağıdan ders ötüp kelsem öyle özüm ağırıp kalattım. Kendi rüyayla asla.
Why do you think this is happening now in Xinjiang? What do you think the Chinese government is attempting to do with these camps and the programs like the ones you've described of reproductive coercion?
Ben de eskiginin bulanın şu maksidi bizden şu zeminimizni egallamoqchi maqsadi. Bular qancha yillardan beri bizni har xil usul dastlabda bular uch qo'shqari Uyg'urlarni ezib xo'rlab qilmagan bilan keyin kelganda uch qo'shqari qilish maqsadi noyati suratda bizning vatanimizni mustaqil qo'liga elib, andan keyin Uyg'urlarning bir qismini shu kamplarni qurib lagerlarni qurish qilib bir qismini yo'qotib, yana bir qismini o'zi assimilyatsiya qildirib, chunki nurg'un xabarlar ko'ryapsizlar, masalan, do'yim bularda. Boshqa ba'zi mumkinlarni ko'radi do'qonchilar yo'lda.
Pay attention because this is the game plan right now.
Yevropa, nima uchun o'sha Amerikada tam nurg'unlar ishlanmaydi, o'sha ishlar quvvat qilmagan. Shuni deyapman.
That's the game plan. That's the game plan. That's the exact same thing that they're going to try and institute with us right here in good old US of A. All right. That's what we're getting ready for. If y'all wanted to know what Jacob's trouble might look like, there it is. There it is. Hey, look, let's just be honest. It's people being forced into getting the vaccination for their job. For their job, people are being forced to get vaccinated to go to work. You know what kind of position you force a man to be in? He the only source of income in his house. Take the shot or don't feed your kids. That's the position they're willing to put you in. And after a while, if they're willing to do that, you know the next step is going to be, okay, well, you unvaccinated people, you faith people, you people that believe God got y'all back, y'all got to stay in one place because y'all not going to infect the rest of us. Even though, you know what I'm saying, vaccinated people are catching it just as easy as the rest of us. I'm just saying. Even know. But now, after seeing that video, Israel, I got to ask a question. Y'all ready for y'all dead temptation? When it's your turn, when they come and ask you, yo, look, you take this vaccine or go, we're gonna put you over here in this internment camp. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And with that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to the young brother Kahari. I'm gonna let him take over and show y'all exactly what y'all got to look forward to. And, hey, man, I hope y'all enjoy this lesson because the brother put his time in. Go ahead, King. We can't hear you. Out.
Come back in.
Yeah, go out and come back in, King. Go out and come back in. We couldn't hear you.
Hey, Salakia, I've got a precept after watching that.
Go ahead.
Precept sprung to mind if you don't mind.
Go
And
ahead.
it's in Job 9:24.
Job
It
9 and
says,
24.
it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? No,
Break it down.
it's not just Edom. It's not just Edomites who are classed as being wicked. All nations on this earth are classed as being wicked. You know,
That's
treat the
right.
Israelites without any sort of dignity or respect. Treat us as downtrodden, worse than the stuff at the bottom of your shoes. So it's showing you there what China have got planned for people who don't fall in line with what their ruling is. So
Right.
when that comes to us, it's going to be, as the other one mentioned before, maybe 7 times, maybe 12 times worse than what those Muslims are currently going through. So we just got to be prepared and understand that, stick in the scriptures, keep the law, statutes, and commandments.
Precept. To back off of what you just said, right? Because you say it's not just Esau. This is Psalms 83 and verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre. So, yeah, these are all. It's all of them. Hey, say something, King.
Khan, can y'all hear me?
Khan. Go ahead, King.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Khan. Hey,
Hey,
Salakia for
Salakia,
this.
if you got your YouTube on in the background,
Okay, Khan.
take it off. Save your bandwidth.
Hey. Nah, it's not on.
All right, Khan.
Nah, the YouTube's not on.
All right, you good, King?
You good.
All right, Khan. So with that, I'm lagging right now, so it seems like every time I speak, y'all hear it late.
Turn your camera off.
So with that lesson,
we can hear you.
With that video that the Adawan just showed.
Oh, I said turn the camera off. All right. He'll be back. 1 second. Give him 1 second.
He hit that X button in the top, didn't he?
Oh, he's coming back. Yeah, he's coming back. Y'all, you know what's crazy about this though? Is I just had one of my managers at work come and tell me, it's a possibility that we may make it mandatory for this vaccine for y'all to work. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, well, I guess I'll just get this money while I can, because you make that mandatory, I ain't gonna be here. I know I ain't gonna be here, but I just happen to work in one of the fields where, no matter what, I'm gonna always be necessary. So I ain't, I can go somewhere, but it's not that far removed. We're not that far removed from this actually being brought down on us, fully and wholly as a group of people. Like, we watch that video and we see it and we go, well, it's Chinese and Muslims, but it's see, that's a precursor. That's like a trial run.
It's a warm up.
Yeah, it's a warm up. It's if you can get them to conform, then we can actually try this over here. And let's not take that lightly, because if that has been going on, and that's been going on for about that we know of for a good 3 years over there. So if they're doing that over there, and that was before, part of that video was before COVID. What do you think they're doing now over there? What do you think is happening over there with them now? What do you think America's going to do as far as you Hebrew Israelites, you non-conformative people? What do you think they're going to do with y'all? Are you there, King?
Khan, can you hear me?
Yeah. You might have to just keep your camera off for a little while.
All right, Khan. With all that being said, I think the people get it. They're witnessing this. People overseas are being taken advantage of. Their human rights are being taken advantage of. They're being treated and regarded at like cattle, right? For their belief systems, right? How much more over here in Babylon, a place that sees you as 3/5 as a person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Here you're considered a ward of the state. You think they're gonna allow you to rebuild yourself, allow you to build up a strong nation peaceably? La. Hey, get me Ephesians 5:15.
Okay. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise.
So don't be a fool in this thing, man. Don't think that you're out here and it's all good. I got hot water. I got a comfortable place I got a roof over my head. It's all good. Hey, America ain't so bad. Hey, don't be a fool in this thing, man. This place is falling. This kingdom is falling. Read the verse 16.
Come, redeeming the time, because the days are evil.
Because the days are evil. Hey, use this time wisely that you got right now. Use this grace period that you got right now to get yourself together, to get yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically strong, man. Hey, you should be in this. You should be in this walk, wanting to be more upright, wanting to be more righteous, right? Wanting to be girded, because the days are evil. Hey, and the days of evil are nigh. They're here. All right. So with that, we're gonna get into this lesson, man, because these people in the concentration camp all over the way are being faced with a decision. Right? Though their gods and their are vain, they still are being faced with the decision. Do they have faith in what they believe? Because even the heathen are being tested. How much more God's children? Hey, let's get into the history of Susanna, man. In the Apocrypha, there's a story called the history of Susanna. A certain woman of our people is faced with a choice. She's faced with a choice that so many would have easily disregarded. Let's get into it. Hey, can brothers hear me clearly?
All
right, con. All right, let's read that. Go ahead, start from the top.
I got it. If you not got it, I don't want.
The history of Susanna, chapter 1, verse 1. There dwelt a man in Babylon called Jachim.
Con.
You want let's read on, right? Is he there?
Nah, he might have froze up.
Con, read on.
Con. There dwelt a man in Babylon called Joachim.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Con.
Can brothers hear me?
Con.
You got a slight delay though.
All right, Con. Yeah, go ahead.
And he looked a wife whose name was Susanna, the daughter of Chelseas, a very fair woman, and one that feared the Lord. Her parents also were righteous and taught their daughter according to the law of Moses. Now Jisim was a
Joking.
great rich man and had a fair
Go ahead, keep
garden
reading.
joining unto his house, and to him restored the Jews, because he was
Hey,
more honorable.
Salakia.
John, go ahead.
Hey, the brothers can hear me. Hey, Salakia.
We hear you out.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Normally, his connection's all right. He's so wicked as hell.
Mm-hmm. It happen every time.
All right, Khan.
Yeah, it's just connection bad. He lagging.
And it's crazy how he talking good before, but as soon as he ready to start a lesson, it's crazy, yo.
God. It's like Ado and Bezalel as well. We'll get on, we'll talk to him fine as soon as we go live.
Yo, and he's in Ghana though. But he right here. You know what I'm saying? So that's all like either way. we can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't have a little clear lesson. But you know, it's okay. Esau can't get away, man. He said he can't get away, man.
I don't understand.
I hear you. I don't understand. Okay.
Khan, I'm gonna hang up with you real quick. Okay,
But
can brothers hear me?
Khan.
All right, Khan. All right, Salakia, Israel. The scriptures is saying. All right, the scriptures is saying that Susanna was a woman who feared the Most High, right? So as someone who fears the Most High is going to test that. Hey, continue to read.
Khan. Now Josim was a great rich man and had a fair garden joining unto his house, and to him restored the Jews, because he was more honorable than all others. The same year were appointed two of the ancients of the people to be judges, such as the Lord spake of, that wickedness came from Babylon, from ancient judges, whose seem to govern the people. These kept much at Josim's house, and all that had any suits in law came unto them. Now, when the people departed away at...
So, can you hear me?
We can't hear you, King.
Hey, Salakia.
Khan.
Exit off the live and come back in. gonna do the same. Your blessing got to be on point because this Esau messing with us. So hold on.
Con.
Like it, Israel, bear with us. We're really trying to get this together. We really want this lesson to come out.
Okay, can brothers hear me?
Con.
Khan. Hey, Salakia. All right, let's continue on, right? So these people, they've been set up. These certain wicked men have been set up to judge the people. Remember, the people are under rulership right now, right? They're being ruled under a wicked kingdom, Babylon. Right? So these certain men have been set up above the people. Go ahead. Verse 8.
And verse 8. And the two elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that slacking. And the two elders saw her going in every day and walking slacking, so that their lust was inflamed towards her. Keep going.
So these men who have been set up to judge, I'm about to come to a point. So these men who've been set up as judges and as leaders in this community, they begin to have lust towards another man's wife. So they're going off, right? How can men be set up to judge the people be found in perverse lust? Go ahead, read verse 9.
And they perverted their own mind and turn away their eyes, that they might not look unto heaven, nor remember just judgments.
Hey, Salakia, get Matthew 5 and 28.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5,
Matthew 5
verse
and 28. Another brother get Romans 8 and 5.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse
because
28.
There's a reason.
Go ahead.
Read.
Khan. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh upon a woman to lust after her, had committed adultery with her already in his heart.
God. So you've already committed a sin that is worthy of death according to the law in your own heart. You because you have imagined these lustful acts and these perverse thoughts towards this woman, you've already committed it, right? Because it's in your spirit. Your spirit is not right within you. Get that Romans 8.
Read that. Book of Romans 8, chapter 8, verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh.
Can brothers hear me?
Khan.
But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit.
Salakia. So if your life is led. Hey, Salakia. So if you're led by your flesh, right? If all your daily meditation is on the lust of your flesh, what you want for that day, how can I satisfy my flesh today, right? Your heart, right, is gonna pursue those things. You're gonna manifest those things that your flesh desires for, right? Go ahead, read it again.
For they that are after the flesh do mind the things
Go ahead and read
of the
again.
flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit.
Continue.
For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal minded is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be.
So you're choosing the flesh. You see why Paul had to teach this? You see why Yahushua had to teach this as he's teaching you the law? You see why he had to tell you to also keep the law within your own heart, not just as an outwardly appearance, to not only put on your outward garments, but the spiritual garments. See why this had to be taught? Because there's certain of you that are set up in high places and that perpetuate wickedness, right? That's the most dangerous thing in Israel, a facade, right? So this is not only a cross-examination for Israel on the type of men and women you'll be on the day of your temptation. This is to teachers as well, including myself. What type of teachers, what type of men who are set up by the Most High will we be? Right? Hey, continuing that history of Susanna. This is why Yahushua had to teach you this. Go ahead.
Khan.
Matter of fact, Salakia,
verse
give me
10.
Sirach 23 and 18. I ain't done with that yet.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 23 and verse
Read down
18.
to 19.
Khan. A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness, the walls cover me, and nobody seeth me.
Right?
What
Salakia. Read that verse 11 again in history of Susanna.
Khan. Verse 11. For they were ashamed to declare their lusts that they desire.
Verse 9. Salakia,
verse 9. Khan. I was gonna say I didn't read down there yet. Verse 9. And they perverted their own mind and turned away their eyes, that they might not look unto heaven, nor remember just judgments.
These men covered themselves. They covered their eyes. I've put this sin, this act in the back of my mind. I blinded myself. I put on the blinders so I could continue in my lust. So therefore, surely the Most High can't see me. Who can see me? I'm the judge. I'm set up to judge this people. My own heart does not condemn me. I'm not convicted in my own heart. So how can the Most High see me? Hey, continue in that Sirach 23 and 19.
Khan, verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts.
So the see people get so caught up in believing that their sin is covered, that their sin cannot be seen, that they forget that the Most High, his judgment is the only judgment that is true. His judgment is the only judgment that matters. Hey, every man is a liar. Every man is righteousness is like filthy rags to the Most High. It's not the Most High who determines whether you will be brought into everlasting life or not. I mean, it's not you. It's not man who determines that. It's the Most High. It's the Most High that determines whether you will be brought into everlasting life or not. So men who are caught up with the stares and ideas of men, what might a man think of me? Their judgment. You don't have true fear for the Most High. Remember, at the beginning of this chapter, it describes Susanna as a woman who feared the Most High. The word of God is not a lie. The word of God will never say he fears the Most High, but he's off. She fears the Most High, but she's off. We're going to see what type of woman she is to earn a description like that, where the Holy Scriptures describe her as one who fears the Most High. What type of attributes does Susanna have to be called that? Right? This is something earned. Go ahead, continuing history of Susanna.
Salakia, that I was going to say that reminds me of
go ahead.
The story in the Garden of Eden in Genesis 3:10, where Adam was, he realized he was naked because why? Because he had basically committed sin, so he made himself naked, and he tried to hide his sin from the Most High, and it's not possible. But I yield the floor with that.
Salakia.
That's right. That's right. Why? Because that's right. Because the Most High's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. It searches out the deepest part of a man. There's nothing you can hide from him. Go ahead.
Got a precept for that real quick. This is Revelations chapter 16 and verse 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So that goes into, we have, not when you sin and do different things like that, your covering is not there. You see what I'm saying? Because the Most High see everything, like the brother just brought out, right? You won't have that covering of the Most High, because he see everything. You know what I mean? He knows what's going on. When you think you trying to keep it in the dark, like the lesson that he's bringing out right now. All right. So that's why we're supposed to keep our garments, keep the Most High, keep the law. All right. I yield the floor. Go ahead. Hey, you want me to start off with verse 10?
So the Most High knows if you're gonna fail your test or not. Start at verse 10. But the Most High knows what type of man or woman you will be on the day of your temptation. It's you who don't know. It's you who have to constantly test yourself and constantly build yourself up in the spirit, so that so that on that day that you pass that test, that on that day you resist that temptation. Right? Go ahead in verse 10.
This is verse 10 of history of Susanna. And albeit they both were wounded with her love, yet thus not one show another his grief. Verse 11. For they were ashamed to declare their lust, that they desire to have to do with her. Keep going. Yet they watch diligently from day to day to see her. And the one said to the other, let us now go home, for it is dinner time. So when they were gone out, they parted, and they parted the one from the other, and turning back again, they came to the same place. And after they had asked one another the cause, they acknowledged their lust. Then appointed they a time both together when they might find her alone. That's crazy. so
Wicked.
so go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead, continue. Con, continue.
So basically they left, both of them left
Con.
the area, right? And then came back. Right? They left the area and both of them came back and said, okay, you know what?
Hey, Salaki.
They didn't talk to each other, said they're gonna do it, but it's both of them in their mind, being wicked, it came back to the same spot, man. I find each other there again. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Salaki.
hold on, man. That's
Salaki.
crazy. Go ahead, King. Go ahead, Kahari.
Salaki.
Slaki, we can hear you.
Hey, Salaki. Salaki.
We can hear you.
He's got a delay, other one. It's like 7 seconds or something, the delay.
Hey, Salaki.
We can hear you, King.
Hey, can brothers hear me?
We can hear you now.
Can brothers hear me?
Yeah, so yeah, like you said, it's the delay. I got you.
All right, Con, can y'all hear me?
Khan.
All right. Salaki. Give me James 1 and 14. Can brothers hear me?
I just heard you just now. James 1 and 14, you said, right?
I got it, other one.
All right, cool.
But this is Book of James, chapter
Can
1,
brothers
verse
hear me?
14.
Khan.
But every man is tempted when he
right, Khan,
is
get
drawn
James
away of
one-
his own lust and enticed.
Hey,
Read that again
hey,
for him,
get
man.
James 1 and 14.
And you're going to read down to 15 for him, too.
Okay. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
So, as we see it, is the reward. Like, as we know, the reward for sin is death. You see what I'm saying? So, everything is a balance with the Most High, right? So, the same sin that like Yahushua brought out and say, you know, even if you think about it in your mind, you still lust within your heart. You see what I'm saying? So it's still there's a reward for that. All right. So it's not just like this thing, you know, I just thought about it, you know what? I can still think about it that way. You know, it's okay. You know what I mean? Because the most I ain't seeing that stuff, man. No. Just the thought about it. That's still like you did the action. You see what I'm saying? So it's still a reward to it's still a judgment for that. And that's basically what the brothers was doing. They was ignoring the fact they're trying to turn away from the Most High in a sense, and like they ain't gonna get judged for that. It's still a judgment for that. You know what I mean? For being wicked, it's still a judgment for that. That's what the brother bringing out. Having a little hard time with his connection right now. You know what I mean? But
I'm trying to remember that scripture where Yahushua says, if you thought it, if it's in your thought, you've already kind of committed the sin.
You talking about that? Say
Let's see if I can find
but
it.
that's the same Matthew that he read. That's Matthew 5 and where he said Matthew 5 and 27, or you looking for something else to precept that?
Let me see.
Okay, Matthew 5 and 27 is like, ye have heard that it was said to them of old times, thou shalt not commit adultery. 28 says, but I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her had committed adultery with her already in his heart. You know what I mean?
That's the one.
So it goes, that's basically what he brought out earlier. So yeah, man, this is the type of stuff that we got to remember. So, but this what he's touching on here is stuff for us to remember, man. Like, nobody is away from under the law. Nobody is too high to get caught up in it. You see what I'm saying? Nobody is high, because this when you say you're under the law, that's what you are, because you're still sinning. So you're under the law. You know what I mean? If you're a judge of Israel and you're supposed to be judging the people, which means you shouldn't be under the law because you should be following it, right? But if you still fall into those same things, then you're under the law too. You know what I mean? You're gonna get that judgment. So, but even it's both sides to that too, because even the woman, right? Even the women have to say, you know what I mean, they have a choice to be like, you know what, I could go into the same, I could fall into it, and I could allow the stuff to happen. You know what I mean? They could, but then it's like, hey, that's why we have laws against this stuff. If the woman did not bawl out, if she didn't cry out, then she's at fault. You see what I'm saying? But because it seemed like if she's willing to do it, but if she did resist, then she's not at fault. So it's the same thing with that. So that the story touch on that as well too. You know what I mean? That's basically I think that's what he's he's leading into right now. But I want the brother to bring it out, man. I ain't trying to, what I'm saying, I ain't trying to bring on to touch on the same lesson he's bringing out. He doing a good job, man. And this connection stuff is messing us up. It's all right. All praise to the Most High still. You know what I'm saying? All praise.
Them iPhones that you be having, it ain't no good.
What I left off on in Susanna though,
10 was young.
It was verse 15. I think I left off at 14. So I think it's up at 15. So.
Oh yeah, Khan. It was the two brothers is plotting.
So I want to see. I want to make sure I know where he's going with it. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, ain't no way he could. Ain't no way he could.
Bring one of the Aki. I'm trying to get him on the phone so you can put it on loudspeaker or something. Yeah, he's just waiting for Adawan Benaya to let him in. Shalom, man.
Hey, Shalom. Can y'all hear me better?
Khan, it's a little better.
All right, Khan. Salakia, man. Yo.
Hey, we gonna make it, man.
Double shifts.
We gonna make it. We gonna make it. We gonna make it.
Con. Hey,
We want me to start back off at? Right now, I stopped at 14, verse
hey,
14. Where you want me to start at?
let's go back to verse.
Verse 9?
There's a point I want to make right here.
All right, verse 10.
10. Verse 10.
Con. This is the book of history of Susanna, chapter 1, verse 10. And albeit they both were wounded with her love, yet thus not one show another his grief. Keep going.
Con, keep going. Con.
Verse 11. For they were ashamed to declare their lust that they desired to have to do with her.
Continue. Go ahead, continue on that. Stop at verse 12.
Con.
Stocky, did you read? I can't hear you.
Get that verse 12 by the way.
All right, so read verse 12 too. All right, Con. Yet they watched diligently from day to day to see her.
Con. So right here, these men, like it said in verse 9, they put on blinders, man. They hid their eyes from the righteous judgments. They hid their look unto heaven. They turned their face away, right? So they're continuing in their lust. They're choosing their lust over the ways of the Most High. Now, brothers, get James 1 and 14.
Okay. This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. You want to get 15 as well?
Read down to 15.
Then when lust hath conceived, it is brought forth.
Read it from the top. Read it from the top. Take your time. Take your time. Read it from the top.
But when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
So these men have chosen ways of death. They've chosen sin, right? Off the whims of their own heart. They're choosing the wickedness of their flesh, right? This is why Yahushua needed to teach these things, because too many were going off because of their own sins with their hearts and minds before they could even move their hand to act upon it, right? Your actions are tempered by your heart, by your imaginations, right? Get 1 Corinthians 10 and 13.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful,
right?
Whom will not.
Salakia. So there is no temptation, right? There's no temptation that will take you, right? Unless you give yourself over to it, right?
God.
The Most High is not gonna put you in a situation that you can't overcome. Most High is not one to tempt you, right? It's your flesh that you battle against. It's your flesh. The Most High equips you with weapons to fight your flesh, He's giving you the law, statutes, commandments. He's giving you wisdom that is of the highest for you to follow after, so that you can combat your temptation, that you can combat your flesh. All you have to do is be obedient. And that's what it boils down to, Israel. Obedience. Obedience in your time of affliction. Obedience in your time of your test, in your time of temptation. What will you be obedient to? Right here, these men who have been set up as judges are obedient to their flesh. They have purposely ignored good and true judgment. Right? Continue.
Okay. Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able? Let's continue.
Go ahead, up.
But
go
will
ahead.
with the
Finish out that verse.
temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
So the Most High is going to give you a way to bear the temptation, a way to resist the heat. What has He given you? He's giving you all the armor. He's giving you the law, statutes, commandments. The book of Proverbs says that the Most High, the word of the Most High, is a buckler to those who believe in Him. A buckler is a shield. That means it's tested in battle. All you have to do is pick it up. But this is what these men have chosen not to do. They've chosen to go contrary to the ways of the Most High, of true judgment. Right? Continuing the history of Susanna.
Okay. Verse 11?
Verse 14.
Verse 14. Okay. So when they were gone out, they parted the one from the other, and turned back again. They came to the same place, and after they had asked one another the cause, they acknowledged their lust. Then appointed they a time. Go ahead.
So now they have acknowledged their lust for this woman. They've acknowledged it. They know that they're lusting for another man's wife. But their judgment, true judgment, righteousness is not on their mental. It's not in their meditation right now, because they've turned their eyes away from it. They've gone to a point of no return, it seems, because they have deliberately chosen this sin. They have deliberately chosen their flesh, right? The ways of their hearts, their evil imaginations. Go ahead.
Then appointed they a time both together, when they might find her alone.
Now they're plotting. Now they're plotting on how to enact on their sin. Give me Jeremiah 9 and 13.
Come.
And read down to 15.
Come. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, verse 13. And it reads, and the Lord saith,
let's see what the prophet Jeremiah says about this.
Can. And the Lord saith, because they have forsaken my law, which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart.
Hey, Israel, lock you.
Can.
Hey, Salakia, this is talking about you. This is talking about you, Israel. You have chosen ways that are contrary to the Most High. You've chosen the imaginations of your heart. This is what you have chosen, right? You did not obey the voice of the Lord. Continue. Verse 14. Start back from the top of verse 14.
Can. But have walked after the imagination of their own heart, and after Balaam, which their fathers taught them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will feed them.
Right. So their
even
fathers have taught them these ways. Right? After the ways of Balaam. Right? These men have. Hey, Salaki.
Slight delay, but you good.
Salaki. These men have chosen ways contrary, right? They have been. This has been passed down through generations, Israel. These are things that you've inherited. You've inherited the sins of your fathers. Should we further these? Should we further this? Should we further our debt?
La'ah.
This is something that we are combating with. That's a part of your affliction. Part of your affliction is having to pay for the sins of your fathers. To be the end of these curses, these generational curses that have been passed on. There's only one way to end that. That's through obedience. That's through keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. This is what's being taught in the whole song of the Bible is keeping God's commandments. Right? Continue.
Therefore,
verse
thus
15.
saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. Behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water of gall to drink.
Hey, Salaki, can y'all hear me?
There's a little delay, but we can hear you.
Man, it seems like every time the brother
Salakia.
There you go.
So the Most High is gonna feed them with things that are not nourishing. The Most High is gonna feed them with those things which are not nourishing unto them. Why? Because you have chosen rough ways.
Mm-hmm.
You have planted seeds that don't bear fruit. A cursed tree. So what now? Now you have to reap what you have sown. And you have sown deceit.
Mm-hmm.
You have sown deceit. You have sown deceit, lies, right? Death, because you have chosen the ways of wickedness, the paths of wickedness. Mm-hmm. So now you have to eat that. You have to eat the fruit thereof.
Bring it out.
All right, let's go back to that story. Let's go start back at verse 15.
This is the book of
Hosea. These men have devised a wicked plot on how to enact on their lust. This is how far these men are willing to enact and satisfy their flesh. They have become slaves to it. They must get at her. Continuing that.
This is the book of history of Susanna, chapter 1, verse 15. And it fell out as they watch a fit time, she went in as before with 2 maids only, and she was the Salakia, desirous, and she was desirous to watch desirous to wash herself in the garden, for it was hot. Verse 16. And there was nobody there save save the 2 elders.
Hey,
Khan.
Salakia. Jump down to verse 19.
Khan. Verse 19. Now when the maids were gone forth, the 2 elders rose up and ran unto her, saying, verse 20, behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore, consent unto us, and lie with us.
Hey, Salakia.
Khan. Go ahead, King.
Salakia. It said that these men ran to her. This is how excited they were to finally enact on their evil imaginations. They ran to her. They ran to their sin. They ran to their wickedness, right?
See it.
And now, now she's being faced with something. These men have fallen to their temptation. 2 men who sit in a seat of power, right? 2 judges who have been placed over the people. They have both fallen to their temptation. They're victims. They're victims to their own flesh. So now she has been faced with a decision by these 2 men. Read that verse 20 again.
Khan. Behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore, consent unto us, and lie with us. Go ahead, Kohari.
Hey, he said, behold, the garden doors are shut. Hey, Khan, Salakia, he said the garden doors are shut. Hey, no man can see us.
Khan.
Hey, in their own hearts, they feel like the Most High can't see them. But now we see they have no regard for the Most High.
That's right.
They have no regard for the Most High because they said no man can see us. They're only worried about how man viewed them. They're only worried about the judgment of man. They're not concerned with the judgment of the Most High. They're not concerned with the Most High's precepts. They're not concerned with being in true judgment and judging according to knowledge, being in righteousness, doing good things. They're not concerned with those things. They're concerned with a status, a symbol, an image that they have to keep up, a facade. This is detrimental to a lot of our salvation. This very thing will bar many of our people from making it into the kingdom. This will bring many of our people to death. The idea of oneself, rather than the standard that the Most High has set for you to meet. There's a standard. It has already been codified. You have to meet this standard or you will not make it. especially as someone who's in debt, Israel. You are indebted to the Most High because you are not worthy. As a nation, you are not worthy of the kingdom. But you have been given a grace period by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua. So you have to capitalize on this very thing, right? Yahushua says something. Let's your righteousness be more exceeding than the judges, than the Pharisees. You shall not enter into the kingdom. These men were good at appearing to be something they weren't. Hey, give me Romans 3:13. So she's being faced with something. She's being faced with a decision, right? Keep that in mind. But read that Romans 3:13.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 13. Their throat is an open sepulchre. With their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asp is under their lips.
Khan. Hey, Salakia. These men are being described right here. Sepulchre is their throat is like an open sepulchre. A sepulchre is a grave, right? A grave represents death. When people see a grave, it reminds them of death. But they are an open grave. The stench of death proceeds out of their mouths. All they speak is death, right? Their tongues are like poison. It's afflicting to the people. When they speak, it is an affliction. Continue on.
Whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness.
Continue on.
Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways.
And read down to verse 14. Read down to verse 15, Salakia. When you get to 15, come to a complete stop.
Abaya.
Okay, I just thought there was a delay. Their feet are swift to shed blood.
Khan, their feet are swift to shed blood. These men ran to her. They ran to her. They spent all night devising a plan on how they can enact on their lusts. They just could not wait for the next day that they get the opportunity. They enacted on it swiftly, without a second thought. Can brothers hear me?
We can hear you now.
Just keep teaching, King. Keep teaching. We got you.
Brother bringing out some good points, because this is a lot of things that Israel need to pay attention to right now. Sometimes we get lost in those things that like we can't fall to. Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
What's the last thing y'all heard?
You said read down to chapter 15, and you brought out your point behind
All
that.
right, con. So they're quick to shed blood. They rushed to enact on their sin. Right. Let's go back to the story.
Khan, Slakia.
Susanna,
Like they said, like
Susanna has
our
been,
foot. They said like our foot are quick to run to evil. They said like the brother was just highlighting that's how they ran. You know what I mean, to do that wickedness. Start from verse 20 again. Start from 21.
Okay, Khan, continue in Susanna.
Khan, the book of history of Susanna, 1 and 21. If thou will not, we will bear witness against thee, right? That a young man was with thee. So they're gonna bear witness against that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou did send away thy maids from thee. Right? Keep going. Then Susanna sighed.
Khan, start at verse 20.
Khan, I'm gonna start back at verse 20. Behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore, consent with us and lie with us. If thou wilt not, we will. Go ahead.
Salakia. So Salakia, La'a.
You muted. You muted, King. Go ahead.
Hey, can brother hear me?
Yeah, come. We can hear you now. Call Allah Yahweh Shimi Yahweh Shabrakata.
Awakening sister, throw out for your donation, please.
Khan, the water sister.
Throw
I don't.
Kahari, try going to another location in your house. Try going to another location in your house, so that we can get a better signal that way.
See, these are judges, right? But they forgot Leviticus 19, saying 16 with this. You know what I mean? Don't be no false witness against that. You know what I mean? That people, right?
Done.
So the things that, like I said, like I was saying earlier, like sometimes we act and we walk like if we can't fall to the same things, man. Like we too high and mighty that to fall to the same sins, right? That because we in a higher status, man. We all could fall to these sins, man. All right. That's why we every day we got to be prepared. We got to be, keeping our guard up, man.
All right, you got to be ready at all times. All right. Let's see.
Ekahari, you're muted just in case. I don't know if you're speaking, but you're muted, King.
hopefully he's just relocating to a better position. So just give us a minute, Yasharala.
Solomon, he's getting set up right now. He had to relocate and change it. We really want this lesson to finish up and come out. So bear with us for a second. He's coming. He's on it right now.
But if y'all liking what's coming out and y'all understanding what's going on, put a 7 in the chat, man. I know the brother getting frustrated, man. You know, he want to make sure the stuff coming out. I know you frustrated. You know, give him his support, man. Let him know y'all following along, man. Let him know y'all supporting, man.
Salaki Adawan, you know
I'm
what's ironic as
relocating
well?
right now, so I'm getting hooked up to trying this new hotspot. See if I can
Con.
get connected to it.
Salaki Adawan.
Hey, you can hear us though?
Con. What is it?
You know what's ironic about this whole thing? This lesson is about his about on the day of the temptation. Literally, he's going through a temptation right now in terms of his internet speed and his connection and how he can handle that. Because he can get frustrated and.
Con, you're right. That's all part of it.
Con.
I know Bezali is going through the same thing right now.
Con.
You know that one meme he posted up that one time with the guy dancing? They said that's probably how he acting right now. You know? So he's like, my video. Hey man. Hey, how is it coming along though? Everything coming along good?
I'm nearly finished. Got like 20 minutes left of it, so I'll send it to.
Con.
Relevant.
Hey, you good, King?
Tomorrow morning.
Hey, Con, can brothers hear me?
Con.
Clear.
Let's bring it out. Let's go.
All praises. Hey, Con. All right, Salakia. Read verse 20 again.
Con. Verse 20. This is the book of history of Susanna, chapter 1, verse 20. Behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore, consent with us and lie with us.
These men are enacting on their lust. They run to it, right? So they're telling Susanna, look, you need to fulfill this. We have chosen this. We have chosen to pursue after our perverseness, and you need to fulfill this. Let's see what choice they leave her with. How do they tempt Susanna? Go ahead.
If thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee.
Hey, so they told her, if you don't lay with us and fulfill our lusts, we'll put you to death. Inherently, that's what they're saying. We will kill you if you do not lay with us. If you do not forsake the ways of your God, we will kill you. See, these men take no account of the eyes that look upon all the earth, that know the deepest parts of every living creature intimately. Right? They don't take that into regard. They only take in regard the eyes of flesh, the eyes of the creation, the eyes of man. So they believe they're hidden. They believe they've been covered. Surely we will not be put to death for this sin. Because man doesn't know what's going on right now, but they forgot of the creator of all things, the king of all creation. Get that Sirach 2 and 13. So now Susanna has been left with a decision. On the day of her temptation, forsake the ways of your God or die in your flesh. What did she choose? Will she choose the Most High or her flesh? Come on, go ahead. You had something up?
Yeah, can. That's just going against that whole Exodus 20 and 16. You know, thou shalt not bear false witness.
Oh, Khan, bring that up.
It's Exodus 20 and 16. It says, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. You know, it's one of the commandments that we're not supposed to do against each other. And there they are, you know, threatening Susanna and saying, listen, at the end of the day, if you don't do this unrighteous deed with us, we're gonna even be even more unrighteous and say that you actually, you know, were doing something that you shouldn't have been doing.
Right. These men are tempting Susanna, right? She's faced with a decision. Read that Sirach 2 and 13.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, and verse 13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended.
Hey, many of our people, when faced in a situation like this, they become faint-hearted. I gotta do this or I'm gonna die. I gotta compromise myself, compromise my manhood, or not get this bag. That's a lot. That sounds like a lot of people in this industry, right? In the music industry, people have sold their souls for less than their lives. People have sold their souls for a new car, right? For a lifestyle. People have sold their souls for an image. People have been tempted for less than their own lives and have folded. Did Israel not do this? Did Israel not go a-whoring? For something that was less in value than the very gold that they wore on their ears? Israel went a-whoring for things that were of no meaning, because Israel was tempted in their own flesh. Their own flesh tempted them. Many of our people in the day of temptation are going to fail. So Susanna, who's described as a woman who fears the Most High God, she's being tempted right now. The best of us are tempted. That's what people don't understand. Yahushua was tempted in the wilderness. In the book of Matthew chapter 4, Yahushua was tempted. He had to go through a proving process. Your forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, were tested. You weren't tested as they were. But you fall astray. You fall to the left hand and the right hand over the smallest of things. Over things that the Most High would have multiplied in your possession had you just asked him. Susanna's being faced with a decision. Go ahead.
So then you just said that too, like you said, they fell to their own lust in a sense, right? They didn't have that for what it is they wanted. They didn't want to wait basically on the Most High. Verse 14 touches on that same thing, which you just read in Sirach. It says, woe unto that, Salakia, woe unto you that have lost patience, right? Because we lost patience in the Most High, because he could give us all those different things that we want, right? We want different women and stuff like that, right? But the brothers wasn't patient. The judges wasn't patient, right? The elders wasn't patient. They choose to share a woman. In their mind, they was okay with sharing a woman just to fulfill that lust that they was craving for. Instead of saying, you know what? Let me stay faithful until the end, and the Most High is going to bestow on me and whatever is due. Right? But they didn't want to wait on the Most High. They choose to work on that, right? So it says, who have no patience. And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? Like I said earlier, is a reward for that sin. And they actually did not only bearing false witness, but also trying to commit adultery. You know what I mean? In a sense. You know what I mean? And fornication. So it's different sins they
Hey,
actually just display in that one action. I yield the floor.
hey, Khan. See, these men turn their eyes away from heaven, right? They turn their eyes away from the highest. So their lust was to fulfill their lust. Their lust was towards their own flesh. That's what it boils down to a lot of times. Your lust is to yourself in many cases, to what you desire, right? You put your desires over any priority, and your priority as chosen people of God is to keep God's commandments.
That's
It's
right.
easy to forget that when your priority is your flesh, right? These men were that evil. They were so evil that there was nothing for them to have patience for. There's nothing else they could have ever wanted but to fulfill perverse lusts that were transgressions to God, and not only to the Most High, but to this woman. Right? Continue verse 22.
Go ahead.
I got a precept to go with that. That's the same as what's spoken about in John, 1 John 2:15, right? It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." That's basically saying what those two men have done is forgotten about everything that they've been taught in the law, statutes, and commandments, and they've gone into the world and thought about the fleshly, lusts and wants, and fulfilling that of the flesh, which is worldly matters and worldly issues. Because okay, you get that thing once, or you get that girl, or you manage to get your own way when it comes to money or finances in an unrighteous way, and that's you going into the world and forgetting about what the Most High is bestowed upon us, and asking the Most High for these things.
Salakia. And to let me back, and that's a good point what you just brought out, Baya. All right, because that's stuff that we take that stuff for granted, and we ignore those stuff. But to let me back on what Kahari was saying just now, because the only thing we need to focus on is the laws and the commandments right now. And having that faith. You know what I'm saying? That's what our purpose of doing is. That's what we're supposed to be doing, but we focus on our fleshly lust, right? This is Ecclesiastes 12:13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh, right? And keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of men." This is our whole duty. This is the only thing that we're supposed to be, want to be focusing on right now. When it comes to the kingdom. Everything that the Most High told us to do, let's do that, and everything will come onto us what we're asking for. We're praying for our families, we're praying for our camp members, we're praying for different, different things in life. We'll get those rewards because we actually do what the Most High asks us to do. Hey, you, LaFleur.
Khan, great points, brothers. Continue on that 23. Now, Salaki, continue verse 22. Start back from the top. Verse 22.
Verse 22 in the book of History of Susanna, chapter 1 of verse 22. Then Susanna sighed and said, "I am straitened on every side, for if I do this thing, it is death unto me," like the brother said earlier, right? "And if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands," which, like he said, put her to death, right? Because once she gets caught up in that sin, that's what it is.
Hey, Khan. So she's been straightened on every side, right? To each side, there's destruction, right? If she chooses to do this thing before the eyes of the Lord, she's chosen to death of her own soul. She chooses to comply with these men. Now, if she chooses to follow after the Most High, to continue in righteousness, then she's delivered her body unto death. Right? Let's continue. Let's see the mindset of a woman who fears the Most High God. Let's see the mindset of an Israelite who fears the Most High God. Continue.
23. It is better for
Verse 23.
me. It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord.
On the day of High God, right? Because there's something Susanna who fears the Most High God. Remember that, understands, right? Get Matthew 10 and 28.
Okay.
And then
The book of Matthew.
I don't want to get Acts 5 and 29.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which killed the body, but they are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both the soul and the body in hell.
Hey, Yahushua is teaching you something. There's going to be a time where you're going to have to make a decision, whether you choose the survival of your body, your flesh, or your spirit, right? You may be faced with a decision where both end in the death of where both end in some type of death. One may save your body, but deliver your soul into death. The other may destroy your flesh, but deliver your soul, right? So it's better to fear that which can destroy the body and spirit, right? And that's your sin. Your sin will destroy your body and your spirit, because the Most High will cast you into that lake of fire. If you are found lacking in that day, the Most High is going to kill you. This is the fear Susanna has for the Most High. She is not concerned with the way man might see her, the way the wicked might see her. They may see her death to be foolish. They may see her to be foolish in her death if she's condemned, right? But she knows her spirit is right with the Most High, right? Read that in Acts.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men.
Hey, Peter told you we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men, right? We ought to obey the Most High. Consent to the law, statutes, and commandments, because this is the only thing that will deliver you in the day of your temptation. Hey, go to Wisdom of Solomon, right? Go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. Read verse 16.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 16.
Hey, the wicked. This is the saying of the wicked. This is how the wicked see you. This is how the wicked see Israel. This is how the wicked see those who keep the law, statutes, commandments of God, right? This is how they see you. Read that.
Verse 16. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
So these posers, these posers, these men who have been set up in a high position of power, right? Set up as judges. They see a righteous woman and know themselves to be counterfeits just by beholding her, right? Go ahead.
He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
Hey, Susanna said, I would rather choose death by your hands than to fall into the hands of the living God. Go ahead.
He pronounced it the end of the just to Salaki. He pronounced it the end of the just to be blessed, and make it his boast that God is his father.
So the Most High is the God of Israel and none else. He has only chosen the nation of Israel, and his elect, and the 1/3 are those who keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God. Those will be the people who will inherit the kingdom. No one else. Go on. Verse 17.
Khan, let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him.
So let's test that. Let's test their theory. Let's see if they be true. Right? He's claiming to be the son of the Most High God. Right? Let's see if everything he says he'll hold to it. Oh, you claim to keep the commandments? All right. Let's see what you do when I throw this $10,000 bonus to you to work on the Sabbath. Right? Let's see what type of temptation I can tempt you with to cause you to fall off. Oh, you're fasting for 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness? Turn this stone into bread. I will give you the world if you just bow to me. Let's see if you will transgress the laws of your father. Go ahead.
Khan.
Verse 18.
Verse 18, for if the just man be the son of God, he will help him and deliver him from the hands of his enemies.
Hey, get Luke 23 and 37 real quick, right? Because this is something that Yahushua was faced with, right? Our example. This is something he was faced with.
It's the book of Luke,
Temptation,
chapter 23, verse 37.
Right?
And saying, if thou be the king of the Jews, save thyself.
Hey, this is what they told Yahushua as he suffered up on the cross, as he suffered up on in his affliction, right? If you be the Son of God, save yourself, right? If you are truly the Son of God, you'll charge the angels to come down and take you out of your affliction. Do it.
Right.
You have the power to do it. Do it. This is his temptation. This was your example. So you go through trials, you go through a temptation that doesn't cause for a spirit to be pierced through your ribs, where you're not dying of thirst and hunger, right? These aren't the temptations you're faced with. Your temptation is this: do I want that raise? Do I want that $50 bonus? Or do I want to keep the Sabbath? Right? That's your temptation. Do I want to go out here to the club real quick? Or do I want to keep the Sabbath? Right? Do I want to keep the feast days? Or do I want to appease my family? I don't want to look like I don't want to be the black sheep of the family. I don't want everybody saying I'm in a cult. Do I want to keep Christmas? Or do I want to appease the Most High and keep past the Passover? These are the temptation decisions you have to make right now. Right? That's your temptation. How many of us are failing our test? Susanna is faced with a life and death situation. You either lay with us or die. She has chosen the Most High. Right? Read verse 24.
Son, with that Susanna cried with a loud voice and the two elders cried out against her.
Hey, 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 Susanna chose, she made her decision. She made her decision. I'm choosing the ways of the Most High. I'd rather die by your hands than to deliver my soul into death. So she cried out. She cried out to the people to make it known, right? So that these men wouldn't be hidden anymore. So that that the men that they so feared would see them. And when she cried out, they cried out too. Right? They're trying to cover up for themselves. They're covering up for their sins. They don't want everybody. She's yelling out. Hey, we gotta make it seem like we not in the transgression, right?
Like whoa.
Now
what you talking about? What you talking about?
Right. Exactly. The fear of these men are starting to fall upon them, right? Because remember, they fear men rather than the Most High.
Khan.
This is who they regard, right? So read on verse 26.
Khan. Verse 26. So when the servants of the house heard, could you hear me properly? I know that car. And so when the servants of the house heard the cry in the garden, they rushed in at the They rushed in at a private door to see what was done unto her. But when the elders had declared their matter, the servants were greatly ashamed, for there was never such a report made of Susanna.
Right. So these men have brought up an accusation against Susanna, right? They have to cover up for their sin. They have to clear their own names. So what do they do now? Now they have opened up their mouths and spoke and condemned her, right? To make a covering for their own sins. In order to make myself appear to be without transgression, I have to place the transgression on this woman who is innocent, right? Remember Romans 3, we read these men are quick to shed blood. Their tongues are like the snake, a poisonous snake. Their throats are like open graves, right? With their very words, they will condemn someone to death to cover up for their own sin, right? Continuing this real quick. Verse 28. Hey, Salaki, you're on mute.
Salaki,
you're on mute, Adawan.
Verse 28. And it came to pass the next day, when the people were assembled to her husband's Josiah, the two elders came also, full of mischievous imagination against Susanna, to put her to death.
So they want to kill Susanna. We've got to bury our transgression because no one saw it. So we have to cover up the evidence. But remember, these men do not take into mind that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Hey, jump down to verse 43.
Salakia,
verse 40.
Salakia,
41.
I just wanted to add something there as well, because of these men's unrighteousness, what happens now is that also includes Joachim into this whole situation, because now he's got a decision to make and he has to resolve a situation that potentially could have his wife seen a certain way. So maybe he now has to make a decision. Do I have to put my wife down away now, or do I, what is the scenario here? So it's showing you that with this whole situation, it's just not those two groups of people that's involved. It actually goes further than those borders and actually involves more people than is necessary because of unrighteousness or wickedness. I yield the floor with that.
Hey, and remember, the people are under captivity right now. The people are under captivity. They've been placed under people who are not of their people, right? Which you'll see continuing in this account, right? These are wicked men placed over them in under a wicked society. So our people are like sheep right now. Someone who is so renowned amongst the people. The servants could not believe what they're hearing. It's Susanna? What? Susanna? That don't even sound right. Susanna would do that? But look at what the people do, right? Let's go to verse 41, because the elders have given their account, and now they've said that they're accusing Susanna of what they told her to accuse her of. Verse 41. But see how the people react.
Then the assembly believed them as those that were the elders and judges of the people. So they condemned her to death.
The people were so quick to believe the word of these men. Though this woman was known for her fear for the Most High, though this woman was known to be upright, there was no examination. They took the word of these liars as the truth. Why? Because they're judges. They've been set up. They're elders. They've been set in a high place to govern us. Truly, what they say is the truth. It's how quickly they have forgotten who Susanna was. Her character assassinated in that very moment. This in itself is a temptation, right? And in the days to come, many of our people's character will be destroyed. The memory that you have amongst the people may be tainted. The memory that you have amongst the people may be warped and destroyed. And you, in the midst of you being condemned to death. This is something that we have to take into account. Let's go back to the wisdom of Solomon. All right. Right. Start at verse 1 of chapter 3.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hands of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them.
Hey, though you may fall into the hands of wicked men of this world, though you may be thrown in prison houses, though you may be put to death for the sake of righteousness, your soul will not suffer torment because you have chosen the ways of righteousness. Go ahead, continue.
Khan, in the sight of the unwise, them seem to die.
So in the sight of unlearned people, the sight of the wicked, it seemed that you died. It seems that you were convicted and put to death. It seems as though your adversaries have spoken a word against you and you face justice and judgment. Right? Go ahead.
Khan. And their departure is taken for misery.
So, surely this is misery for them. Surely they are going through affliction that they cannot bear. They're being thrown in camps, imprisoned by the droves. Their children are being executed in the streets. Right? They're being convicted. They're being slaughtered. They're in captivity. Surely this affliction was well deserving of these people. Right? Go ahead.
Come.
Verse 3.
And their goings from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace.
But they are in peace. right? The righteous who are persecuted, the righteous who are put to death, the righteous who will be put to death, they're at peace. Why? Continue.
Khan. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality.
Khan. So though they be punished in the sight of men, their hope is for immortality because they're dying in their righteousness, right? In the day of your temptation, you may be put to death for righteousness' sake. You may die for the word of God. You may die for keeping the law, statutes, commandments. The way the world perceives this does not matter. The way the Most High perceives this, the way the Most High looks upon you, that is the only thing that matters in the last day. That's the only thing that matters in the day of your last breath. Where do you stand with the Most High? With He who has the power to destroy both body and soul. Where do you stand with Him? Right? Let's go back to Susanna. Right? Continue verse 43.
Verse 43.
42.
Verse 42. Then Susanna cried out with a loud voice and said, O everlasting Father, O everlasting God, thou knowest the secrets and knowest all things before they be. Thou knowest that they have borne false witness against me. And behold, I must die, whereas I never did such things as these.
Salakia, that's a mighty saying. You know that they lie against me. You know what they have done. So I must die. I have to choose death because they have presented me with an ultimatum. I either lay with them or die. Father, I choose you. I choose to die for the loss of my fathers. Right? This is what she has chosen. She would much rather do this. Go ahead, continue.
Khan, whereas I never did such things as these men have maliciously invented against me.
Maliciously, I don't.
Slakia, maliciously invented against me.
Khan, hey, read Sirach 2 and 10. And another brother get Judith 9 and 11.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded?
Hey,
or did any abide?
It's Salakia. Look at the forefathers that came before you. Look at the foremothers that came before you. Have any called upon the Lord and been disappointed? Have any that called upon the Lord not been answered, not been delivered? Go ahead.
Or did any abide in his fear, or was forsaken? Or whom did he ever?
Anyone who had fear for the Most High, has the Most High ever left them? Remember, Susanna is described as a woman who feared the Most High in the beginning of this book. She's someone who fears the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
Go ahead, continue.
For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgive it sins and save it in time of affliction.
Hey, the Most High saves you in time of affliction. When you trust in the Most High and believe upon Him and continue in His law, statutes, commandments, He'll save you out of your affliction. Susanna knows this. So she's calling upon the Most High in her affliction. and staying faithful. Right? Let's continue. Continue in Salaki, give me Judith 9 and 11.
Time. It's the book of Judith, chapter 9, verse 11.
This
For
is
thy
another woman
power-
who had fear for the Most High. This is another woman who had fear for the Most High. Right? Read that.
For thy power standeth not in multitude, nor thy might in strong men. For thou art a God of the afflicted, and helper of the oppressed, an upholder of the weak, a protector of the forlorn, a savior of them that are without hope.
Hey, the Most High is a savior for those who are in a hopeless situation. All the congregation is believing the testimony of these wicked men, these liars, right? She's being delivered unto death. She's about to be delivered to death. The judgment has been ruled, right? This is a hopeless situation for our sister, but she's one that fears the Most High. So let's see what happens. Continue in the story.
Con.
44.
Jump back at what verse? What?
Verse 44.
44. And the Lord heard her voice.
Salakia.
Therefore,
Salakia. So the Lord has heard her. The Lord has heard her. That's the whole point of us doing what we do. That's the whole point of us practicing the righteous acts. That's the whole point of us teaching our people who they are, teaching them to come back to the law, statutes, commands of the Most High, so that the Lord may hear us in the land of our captivity, so that the Lord may hear us in our hopeless situation. We are a people who are at war with the world. I don't think Israel understands it. You're at war with every nation in the world. That is a hopeless situation. Every evil imagination that the other nations can devise are against you, are specifically made to keep you out of your power, to keep you totally oppressed and totally destroyed, to keep you in these curses, to keep you in your sin. Everything this world can devise is a weapon against you. That seems to be a hopeless situation. But we serve a God who breaks the battle. He's the one who determines who wins and who loses. He's the one who determines what nation shall rise and what nation shall fall. He's the one who determines whether you will come out of your affliction or not. So our fear isn't towards the world. Our fear isn't for the nations that devise these wicked schemes and these weapons against us. Our fear is for the Most High, who has the power to destroy all, body and spirit. Because in his hand lies the key to everything. That's who we fear. So because we fear him, because a remnant of us shall be heard, shall fear him and practice true fear for the Most High, we will be heard. Prophecy must be fulfilled. We must be delivered out of our captivity. So if we understand that a nation of people must be delivered out of their captivity, as long as they keep fear for the Most High and keep his laws and his commandments, how much must you do to come out of your situation, to come out of whatever temptation you may be facing? The only answer to that is fear for the Most High. You have to fear the Most High than you do your situation. All right, continue.
Con. Therefore, when she was 44, and the Lord heard her voice. Therefore, when she was led to be put to death, the Lord raised up the Holy Spirit of a young youth, whose name was Daniel.
Con. So the Most High answered her. He answered. He sent one of his anointed. He sent a chosen man to deliver her out of that. Let's see what Daniel does through the Spirit. right? Continue.
Khan. Was Daniel, who cried with a loud voice, I am clear from the blood of this woman. Then all the people turned them toward him and said, what mean these words that thou hast spoken? So keep going.
So now he's gained the attention of the people, right? He's gained the attention of the people. What is he talking about? Who is this guy? What is he talking about? Hey, the elders, the judges, the elders, the men set over us said this woman committed a sin worthy of death. What is this guy talking about? What's going on now? Right? Continue.
Khan. So he standing in the midst of them said, are ye such fools, ye sons of Israel, that without examination or knowledge of the truth ye have condemned a daughter of Israel?
Are you so quick to judgment that you forget that you must examine a matter? That you must examine a matter before coming with a conclusion? How easy is it for you to forget some of the basic instructions of the Most High? To examine a matter before coming with judgment. Hey, this is how far gone our people have gone in this captivity. They've forgotten the basic principles. Does that not resemble our people today? So many of our people today have forgotten the basic paths of righteousness. They've forgotten the truth. They've forgotten these things. They don't know how to govern themselves. They don't know how to enact judgment according to knowledge because they have none. So now they're depending on wicked men. Wicked men that are not even of their nation. Men that are known to murder you, that are known to destroy your people. Why do you trust your enemy? How easy can you trust your enemy and forget the ways of the Most High God? It's so easy for our people, right? Continue. Jump down to verse 50. Verse 51, Salaki. Can you hear me?
Verse 51. Wherefore all the people turned again in haste, and the elders said unto him, come, sit down among us, and show it us, seeing God had given thee the honor of an elder. Salaki.
God, continue.
Then said Daniel unto them, put these two aside, for far from another, and I will examine them.
So Daniel is using discernment right now. He's using wisdom and how to examine these men to see if this matter be true. Hey, the Spirit of the Lord is upon Daniel right now. He knows these men are lying. He knows, right? Let's jump down to verse 54. So now Daniel has began to examine these men.
Now, then, if thou hast seen her, verse 54. Now then, if thou hast seen her, tell me, under what tree? Under what tree sawest thou them companying together? Who answered? Under a mystic tree.
Under a mastic tree, right?
It's like a mastic tree.
So one of the men have answered with a lie, of course. What tree that he found found Susanna and the young man who she allegedly slept with, committed fornication with, adultery with, right? Under a mastic tree. This is the answer he has given, right? Hey, continue on verse 55. Let's see what Daniel says about this.
And Daniel said, very well, thou hast lied against thine own head. For even now, the angel of God had received the sentence of God to cut thee in two.
Hey, Salakia, these men are so proud, and these men are so deceived by their own pride that they don't believe that there's no way this man can find us out. Remember, we're hidden from the sight of any man. The gates are closed. How can they see us? Right? They don't take into account the God that we serve. Right? Give me Job 15:6. And another brother, give me Psalms 9:16.
You said Job 15:6?
Yeah, Job chapter 15 and verse 6.
And what's the next verse?
Psalms 9:16.
Abaya, I guess Psalms 9:16.
Start at verse 5 in Job 15. I think the brother Abaya is frozen. Our brothers there?
You said Job 9:16. If I had called.
Job 15:6. Read, but start at verse 5. Job 15:5. Start at Job 15:5.
This is the book of Job, chapter 15, verse 5. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty.
Khan, go ahead.
Thine own mouth
Go ahead,
condemneth
continue
thee,
verse 6.
and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee.
Hey, these men don't know this. They don't know this precept. Hey, their own tongue has condemned them, right? They've chosen they've chosen a lie. They don't understand what Daniel has said. What? God has received a sentence. An angel's waiting to cut me in two. You don't know if I committed this or not. It's my word against yours. Who are you? Right? This is the mentality of these men. Get that other precept I wanted. Psalms 9:16.
Khan, this is the book of Psalm, chapter 9, verse 16. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hagion Selah.
Hey, Salaki, I can't. The brother's breaking up. Can you hear him?
Salaki,
I heard him.
Can Salaki?
Read it again.
Okay, Khan, Salaki, read that again.
Khan, the Lord. This is Psalm chapter 9, verse 16. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hagayon.
Hey, the wicked devise their own destruction, right? The wicked set up their own gallows, man. He's destroyed himself with his own tongue. This is what Daniel was telling this man, right? Continuing.
Say continuing in which
We're
one?
in verse 56.
Khan.
Verse 56.
Verse 56. So he put him aside and commanded to bring the other, and said unto him, O thou seed of O thou seed of Canaan, of Chanaan, and not of Judah, beauty had deceived thee, and lust had perverted thine heart.
Hey, Salakia, you're breaking up, but continue, verse 57.
Thus have ye dealt with the daughters of Israel, and they for fear companied with you, and the daughters of Judah will not abide your wickedness.
Hey, Khan, hey, there were sisters who may have fallen to this, right? Who may have been caught in their weakness. Weakened in this moment. Why? Because they did not have fear for the Most High God. They had more fear for these men than the Most High God. Hey, jump down to verse 59. Salaka, continue verse 58. Continue verse 58. We're about to wrap this thing up.
Now therefore tell me, under what tree didst thou take them company together? Whose answer under a home tree? Keep going.
All right, so this man's given a different answer than the first man, right? Continue.
Then said Daniel unto him, Well, thou hast also lied against thine own head, for the angel of God waited with the sword to cut thee in two, that he may destroy you.
So now these men are about to fall on their own sword, right? They were quick to shed the blood of an innocent woman, right? Because they fell to their temptation. And because this woman did not fall to her temptation, did not fall to the test they present her with, they were quick to devise a scheme to destroy her. These men are about to fall to their own sword. Continue. Continue, verse 60.
With that all the assembly cried out with a loud voice and praised God, who saved them that trust in him. And they arose against the two elders, for Daniel had convinced them of false witness by their own mouth. Salaki convicted them of false witness by their own mouth.
Their own mouth. They condemn themselves. Go to 2nd Esdras chapter 16, start at verse 64.
Okay, it's the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 64. Therefore, therefore hath the Lord exactly searched out all the works, all your works, and he will put you all to shame.
Come on. So the Most High is going to make known to you everything that you have done. It's going to be a shame in the day for a lot of our people who fell to their temptation, who fell to their weakness, right? Who fell to their flesh, right? Continue, verse 65.
Khan.
And when,
go ahead.
Oh, that's me. And when your sins, and when your sins, the 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 65. And when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day.
Hey, these men's sins were their own accusers. Their own sin put them to death. They chose a lying tongue. Therefore, the Most High has heard what they have done. He has heard their transgression, and he has commanded their death. Right? One more scripture. Get Judith 8 and 24.
Salaki, can I read the next verse?
Khan, read that. Go ahead.
Can't. This is 2 Ezra 16:66 and 66. What will ye do? How will ye hide your sins before God and his angels?
Hey, Khan, how are you going to hide your sins? Right? How can you hide your sins from the Most High God? You may be able to hide your sin from man. Hey, there's brothers and sisters that might go all the way until the day of judgment and men not know their sins, but it will be made known in that day. You will be put to an open shame. And then when it all matters, you'll be condemned because your accuser is your own sin, your own weakness to your flesh. Right? Get this last verse, Judith 8 and 24. So this woman was saved by the Most High because she stayed true and she had fear for the Most High rather than those who tried to afflict her. Right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Judah, chapter 8, verse 24. Now, therefore, O brethren, let us show an example to our brethren, because their hearts depend upon us, and the sanctuary of the house and the altar rest upon us.
God. So remember, brothers, we are set up to lead as an example, not just with words, but as an example, right? Tests and temptation will hit us even harder than most if we are deemed worthy, because we've come and said that we will serve the Most High. So we will be tested. We will be tempted, right? Continue in that verse. Continue in the next verse.
Khan.
Verse 25.
Moreover, let us give thanks to the Lord our God, which trieth us, even as he did our fathers.
So remember how he tried our fathers. Remember how he tried your foremother, Susanna. Remember how she was tested. Remember the temptation she had to deny, right? What will you do on the day of your temptation? This must be our meditation. This must be our motivation to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, because every man's day will come. That are you.
God. All right. Slightly. Oh man. All right, so that was a lot to digest, Israel. Some of y'all might have to go back and rewatch this lesson. There's a lot of powerful things brought in this lesson that might not have actually came through clearly because of the technical difficulties. Because some of y'all might have to go back through and rewatch this lesson. The brother brought out a lot of powerful points, man. It's a lot of things that y'all got to go back in here and digest. But I'm gonna tell him, good job. Hey, look, sometimes these things happen, man. It just is what it is. There's nothing we could have really did about it. We worked through it. Good job in getting through it. Is there any question? I'm gonna ask. There any questions in the chat right now before we sign off? We on here a little bit longer than we normally are on Thursdays. But are there any questions in the chat pertaining to the lesson first, and then anything after that? Before we
give one precept.
Go ahead.
This is 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 7. Just to end off what the Ak was saying about that trial and that temptation, and it says that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold, that perisheth, though it be tried by fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua. So just keep that in mind, Yasharala, as you go through these trials and these temptations.
Con.
John Allen said, "How do you remember all of the commandments?" You have to first you have to study them, then you have to meditate on them and pray on them. That's the only way you're really going to be able to remember all the commandments.
And
You have to
study some more.
And do the best that you can to try to keep the commandments. There's 613 of them. You might not get them all 100%. It might not happen for you that way. Some people can, some people can't. You might not get all 613 commandments down pat 100%. The thing is that you're trying. You have to try. Got to put in that work. The best way that I've come up with to remember the commandments is to study them every day. If I get up in the morning, I might read a few of them in the morning. If I don't do it in the morning, I might read a few of them in the evening time. But if you're not actually studying them, you're not actually looking at them, you're not going to keep the commandments. You're not going to remember them. So you have to try to do what you have to do to try to learn them on a daily basis until you have them down pat. And until Yahweh Shah come back anyway, you're not gonna have them written completely. You're not gonna get them down completely anyway. You're not gonna do it. Try your best. Do the best that you can. Just do the best that you can. If you that's all the Most High is requiring. Do the best that you can. We all fall short. So that is what it is. Any other questions? Akahari, I see you back.
Khan, Salaki. Hey, I pray that the Most High open the ears, your minds and your hearts during this lesson. You know, there's a standard that we have. You know, bring out lessons that not only edify the people in the audience that you speak to, but also yourself. You know, it's important that we don't be deaf to our own teaching. And my goal, you know, every time the Most High puts it on my spirit to bring out a lesson, is that I hear His words as well. Not only the people, but that I too hear these words. Hey, the connection was bad, but I have faith that the lesson came out, that the words of the Most High came out, and that it planted a seed in your hearts. And meditate on these things that are detrimental for your spiritual walk, because it'll save your life in these last days.
Con. And it was brought up beautifully, man. That's saying good job, man. I said, and like we mentioned earlier, good job at enduring through it too. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, it's only when you try to make people think about certain things, you know what I mean, you have interruptions to try to distract you in a certain sense. But I hope Israel was, you know, attentive still, and they still get the message. All right. Like Adawan said, you might have to go back over it just to kind of make sure you get all the gems out of there. But the brothers brought out some good points, man. All right, and it's stuff to always, you know, pay attention to. All right.
All right. So Devin Benson said, "Shalom. Can you break down Romans 5 and 13? Either one of y'all want to volunteer for that before I go ahead?"
I can read it. Romans 5 and 13 says, "For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law."
Go ahead, King.
Now, read it again.
Can. For until the law, sin was.
We can hear you, King. We can hear you.
This is Romans 5 and 13. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin was not imputed when there is no law.
So if it's not a law against it, how could you break something in a sense? You know, what I mean, shortcut. But Kahari, I see you had something to touch on it. Go ahead. Could you hear me?
Yeah, he got a delay. Car, you there?
So I thought you was gonna say something. Mister.
He was. I think his internet's messing with him.
Could you hear? I don't even think you could hear us.
No, he's not. He can't hear us at all.
Okay, Salaki.
Fine.
What you say?
Says lucky. Hold up. Come back in. Can you hear me, Kari? All right. Romans 5:13. He's talking again. Kari, we see you talking, but we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Okay, Khan, I can hear y'all, but
all right, there you go. We can hear you now.
See, it was just a little delay.
It's a delay.
Yeah, a little delay.
Yeah. There you go again. Every time he say something important.
Just switch your video off, huh?
Yeah, turn your video off. Yeah, he backed out. He might come back in. All right, so what was that? Until the law was in the world, but sin, Salaki. For until the law, sin was in the world. So before the law, there was already sin. Sin was already in the world. You know what I'm saying? There was no, you couldn't get around that. People were already doing wickedly before the law was given. All right. But sin is not, what you saying, King?
So that's that darkness.
Con. But sin is not imputed where there is no law. So that means just because there's no law doesn't mean there's no sin. Like if you just because you don't know it doesn't mean it's still not a sin. There's still a sin there. Con, and he's back. Well, he's trying to come back. We'll see if he comes back.
It's like I heard one of the other ones say this to me the other day. If a tree falls in the woods and you don't hear it fall, does that mean the tree hasn't fallen?
Lie, the tree still fell. When you come back tomorrow, the tree gonna be on the ground. It still fell.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that it didn't make a noise, you know what I mean? Because you didn't hear it, because you wasn't there. But you know what I mean, I'm sure as we know, when a tree fall, you hear a noise. You know what I mean? So
right.
You know.
All right, can you hear us?
Hey, what? Brothers hear me?
Con.
Okay, Con. All right, I don't know if y'all did y'all already touch on Romans 5:13?
Come on, bring it out.
What do you think?
All right, Con. So right here, Romans 5:13. I think Adawan said it earlier. You know, this just allows you to understand what sin is, right? The law allows you to understand what sin is, right? Without the law, there was no understanding of sin, right? I didn't know that, you know, it was a sinful thing for me to lust after another man's wife if I had no knowledge of the law, because the law codifies that for you. It tells you what that is, right? This is the what this scripture is literally saying, right? Precept that I can just think of from the top of my head, you know, what is sin, right? 1 John 5.
1 John 5. There you go.
Well, 1 John, you say?
Yep. Go ahead.
Can I got the other one?
Bring it up.
Con, 1 John 5 and 3. Verse 3.
This is the book of First John, chapter 5. No, it's like it. First John, verse 3 and verse 4.
Con, 1 John 5, 3 and 4.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
Con, so remember, this had to be taught to the people. Sin is the transgression law. We still do it today. We have to literally go in the highways and byways and teach people what sin is. A lot of our people don't know what sin is. Why do they not know what sin is? Because they have been indoctrinated pretty much their whole life by a church that told them that the law was done away with. So therefore, they do not know the law. So how can they know what sin is? They still commit it. They still commit these iniquities. They still transgress the law, but they're not having the knowledge of the law, right? Not having the knowledge of the law, they don't know what sin is. So we have to teach them. This is the understanding that Paul is trying to give the people at this time. It's the same thing now. He's trying to teach our people the law so that they know what sin is, so that they know what they're repenting from, right? I yield with that.
Didn't Paul talk about that too?
Does that satisfy the brother? Hey, Khan. Paul talked about the same exact thing. Again,
was that chapter
whole
7
of Romans 3. It's like a delay. Can brothers hear me?
You're good. You're good. You're good.
All right, Salaki. I think Adam, you wanted a preset.
I was saying, I think it was Romans 7 and 14, where it's like it says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, so under sin. For that which I do allow not, for that I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that I do." This sometimes you gotta kind of take your time and read this right here, because it gets you caught up. You know what I'm saying? It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, so under sin." And 15 says, "For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that I do." Salakia, that do I not. But what I hate, that I do. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that is good. Is that what I believe this is exactly what I wanted right here.
Khan, Salaki.
Go ahead.
Okay, Khan. I just wanted to give the sense right here. Verse 15, he's saying, my flesh desires to do sin, right? Like the Adawan brought out with this preset. That's a great preset. My flesh desires to do sin. My flesh desires to transgress the law. My flesh desires these things. But if I do what I don't desire, right, which is to keep the law, right? If I choose that which is contrary to my flesh, then I do what is good. That's what he's saying. He's saying the same thing in Romans 5, right? The law is what educates me on what my sin is, what my lust is. The law is what educates me on the ways in which I should go, what my sin, what my flesh doesn't desire, right? So that's how we know what sin is through the law.
Salakia.
That is the saying of Romans 5:13. That's the saying of Romans chapter 7, right? In verse 14 through 15. That's the saying of pretty much all of Romans 3. The knowledge of our sin with the law. That's why Yahweh had to teach that to the people, that if you commit adultery within your heart, you have already committed adultery. Because what does the law also entail? To not covet something that is not yours. That in itself is a transgression of the law.
And go, right? Yes, I'm a buyer.
This is all the law that
can. But if when you also read that, Salakia, when you also read that verse, it's telling you, like, you know, for until the law, sin was in the world. When you think about who the world is and what world is referring to, it's referring to Israel, because only Israel would give them the law, statute, and commandment to follow, meaning that only Israel can
go ahead, brother.
Could commit that sin, or, you know, transgress the laws and commit sin. So we're the ones that the law was inputted to follow them and keep, you know, gain life and not death through sin. And I just thought I'd you know, clarify that one bit about the world as well.
That's right.
I yield the floor.
Go ahead, Kahari.
I hope the Devin Benson gets got a clarification on that.
God, he said the water. He said the water.
Con. Yandabar.
All right, good job of breaking it down. All right, you know what I'm saying? Hey, normally we don't go this long on Thursdays, but, you know, brother was diligent in getting his lesson out. So, you know what I'm saying, we had to do what we had to do. And I think it was a good lesson. Get it out. But hey, yo, it needed to come out. If y'all not preparing yourselves, y'all not understanding what this lesson was about, you're going to be tried. You're going to be pushed. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to be fair. The sister in this lesson.
I was agreeing with the brother.
Fine. The sister in this lesson had to deal with people deciding that they were going to force her into a situation. And the only way for her to truly get out of it was to stand fast on what she actually believed in and believe in the Most High.
That's right.
And he was going to bring her up out of it, man. And that's what we're going to have to deal with. That's what we're going to have to walk in. That's the faith we're going to have to walk in. The size of a mustard seed. Yo, you're going to have to carry it with you.
That's right.
You're going to have to make it work for you. Everybody's trial is going to be different. Everybody's test is going to be a little bit different, but it's on you. It's on you to decide how much you're willing to deal with and how much you're willing to stand for. You know, it's not going to be a situation. It's not going to be where we all get to look up and go, oh, yeah, yo, they trying to give us one piece of bacon. Shit, I ain't taking that bacon. I'm going to be good. I ain't taking that bacon. Nah, it might not be that simple for you. It might not be. The brother Kahari might get that one piece of bacon, but a buyer might get told, you know what? Hey, look, I know, you know what I'm saying? Look, we kept you in that cage. We kept you in that cage for 6 months. You ain't had nothing. Hey, we're going to put these 4 white girls butt naked in front of you. What you going to do, Ak? What you going to do? What you going to do, Ak? You taking the bait or not, man? You saying now? Nigga, wait 6 months. You ain't had nothing. It's 4 white girls butt naked in front of you. What you gonna do?
You saying that I kind of soft, man. That I kind of soft. I don't know.
I'm good at one. I'm good.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We don't know what Esau gonna put in front of us, man. We looking at the vaccine. like this, it could be it, but we could be completely wrong with that. Yeah, we could be completely wrong with that. But we know for sure they're going to try you with that vaccine. Though they already know they're trying to take brothers' jobs from them for not getting the vaccine. You know who they most worried about not getting the vaccine? It's Israel. 3/4 of Israel right now has decided they're not taking the vaccine. 3/4 of us. That's a problem for Esau. That means 3/4 of us are not going along with what they want us to go along with. We ain't worried about what they worried about. And that's an issue. And it's going to keep getting pushed harder and harder. Last week we told you about how they can get your kids to vaccinate. They can vaccinate your kids in school without talking to you. We showed y'all how they can show your kids damn near pornographic videos in school without your consent.
Teaching them gay BCs.
Come. We showed y'all that. Now we're showing you exactly what's going to happen when Esau decides to turn the pressure up on y'all. So if I was y'all, I'd go back and I'd watch this again. If y'all miss anything because of technical difficulties, I'd go back and I'd watch this again. Because the brother really was trying to bring out some powerful points about what's current today and what's going on today. That's why we showed y'all that video to show y'all there's already an example of them already doing it. China is doing this already. They're already implementing this already on Islamic people. That I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all better get ready. Y'all better get prepared. Y'all better get yourself together and you better start teaching. You better make sure your kids understand. Better make sure that, because that's what they really need to get, your kids. You don't need you need your kid. Because the next generation is the one that's going to be more powerful. Every generation is more powerful than the one that was before them. They get your kids, they know how to quell the situation. They got y'all. All right, so with that being said, I don't see any more questions in the chat. I think we're good. So I'm Benaiah.
I'm Soldier Barnabas.
Soldier Abaya.
Soldier Kahari.
And we are the sons of thunder. It is our heart's prayer and desire that Israel might be saved. Khan. Don't forget, Milk Mondays, Truth Tuesdays, Thursday Night Thunder, of course, the Friday class, and the live on Facebook on Saturdays. Okay, if you want to come to if you want to come to Tabernacles with us, you need to send us an email. It's been going across the screen basically the whole entire night. You need to send us an email at sonsofthunderisraelites.com. That's Sons of Thunder Israelites with an S.com. And
check out the Patreon.
Gmail.com. Sorry, what you say?
Check out the Patreon too. All right, check out the Patreon. Check out our podcast. All right.
All right. And with that being said, this has been another Thursday Night Thunder. All right. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom.